Miracle Makers! I'm Erica and this is part 2 of Yoga for Low Back Pain. This is going to be a short, focused sequence that you can add into your weekly home yoga practice to help you manage the uncomfortable low back pain that mamas often get when they are pregnant. If you haven't watched part 1 of this series, please go back to my YouTube channel and watch it. It tells you more of how to incorporate these things into your daily life, and that can be super, super beneficial if this is something that you're dealing with. Next week, I'm going to tackle another big problem that a lot of people have during pregnancy, insomnia. So if you are having a hard time sleeping at night, take a second, make sure you hit subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and as always, if there's something else that you're dealing with that you would like to have some yoga tips to help you, take a second, go down into the comments and let me know what that is, because this channel is for you. Okay, let's get started. Come up onto hands and knees. Make sure you're stacked as close as possible, wrists under shoulders and knees under hips. And then with an inhale, feel the heads of your shoulders move back and lift up through the crown of the head so your chest is broad. And then with an exhale, round the spine, look in toward your belly button, push the floor away. Good, do that a few more times with your own breath. So following the rhythm of your own breath and moving at your own pace. But I would caution you that when you come into cow pose or the back bend version, keep it pretty mild through the low back and really focus on lifting and broadening the collarbones in the chest. Good. Maybe you start to take the cat-cow and turn it into a big barrel roll through the rib cage. So maybe go around one way and then the other. This feels really super good to me, especially through like the ribs and the side body. And then when you've had enough of that, another one that I really like to do is wag your tail. So hips go to one side, maybe you look back and look at that hip, and then over to the other side, like a puppy that's excited. Maybe just a little bit excited, depends on how fast you want to wag your tail. Good, and then come to a neutral spine. We will keep with the puppy theme. I'm gonna turn to face you so you can see what I'm doing. But right hip, right knee goes off to the right. It's gonna come in line with our right hip, so you are kind of like a puppy peeing on a little invisible fire hydrant, and then from there you make a big circle and around. Good. The knee comes toward the right elbow and then up and around. So we're not squishing baby, not compressing the belly at all. After you've taken 3 big circles, bring that knee back to the floor, and we'll just do the other side. Left knee comes out to the left, in line with the left hip. Take a breath here, feel, and then circle. It doesn't really matter which direction you go. Sometimes I like to make sure to go both directions, and sometimes I keep it short. So you decide what you need, and you can always pause the video if you need to. This is your practice, so do it your way. And then when you're done, come back to hands and knees. Walk your hands so that your thumbs touch underneath of your nose, and step your right foot forward, 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 as many little steps as it takes to get that foot to the outside of the right pinky. And then when you get here, fingertips can come up onto blocks or onto fingertips if you need. Hand comes up onto the right thigh to press yourself up into a low lunge. Take a second here, just feel your legs strong and underneath of you, and then check it out. You want your right knee to be stacked right over your right ankle. Good, try to keep that. And then notice, what is your posture like? So for a lot of us, you might be here. especially if you're further along in your pregnancy and you feel your baby pulling you forward and down. So just notice if you're here, if your ribs are jutting out, can you gently guide them back so that you are stacked more over your back knee? Good. And then from here, try to keep that and just reach your arms up and by your ears. Spread through the fingers. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, soften through the shoulders. Good. Take another big breath in. Notice I'm not really going back too far through my back bend. It's just a gentle, easy opening through the chest. And then exhale, bring your hands back down to the floor. Good. Inhale, reach your chest forward here. And with an exhale, start to shift your hips back and come into a runner's lunge. I'm not using blocks right now, but I really encourage you to if this feels like too much pulling. And just put your fingertips up onto blocks to the inside of the right foot. Keep the front foot flexed so toes are pulling back, and with an inhale, just feel your chest lift forward. Good. You can stay pretty upright here, or with an exhale, you can fold forward even more. So we're going really gentle and easy with our hamstrings. And then inhale, bend the front knee, lift the chest, low lunge, and then exhale, shift your hips back, walk your fingers back, bring the block with you if you need to, come into low lunge, runner's lunge, excuse me. Inhale forward, then exhale back. And inhale forward, then exhale back. Good. Inhale forward. Let your hands come back to the floor. Shift your right foot off to the right and come back to hands and knees for a second. Okay, more than a second. And then let's take a break. Knees wide, big toes touch. Sit your hips back to your heels and just take a couple breaths in through the nose and back out through the nose. With your next inhale, come back up to hands and knees. Good. Step your right foot behind you, toes to the floor, heel reaching. Know that you can stay here or lift that leg up. Know that you can stay here or reach your opposite arm out like you're going to shake somebody's hand. Option here, I'm going to turn to face you again so that you can see, is to, whoops, I'm going to come forward a little bit more too. The option here, everything is straight out in front of you. Maybe you just shift right foot over to the right, left hand off to the left, and then come back to center. Good. Take a big breath here. And then walk your thumbs into touch right underneath of your nose and step your left foot forward, forward, forward. As many little steps as it takes to get the foot to the outside of the left pinky. Good. Come up onto fingertips, come up onto blocks, do what you need to do. Hand comes up onto the thigh to lift your torso up. And then same thing, check out your alignment here. Is your belly dumping forward? If it is, gently guide the ribs back, maybe lift baby up. Awesome. From here, interlace your hands behind the back, hug your elbows in, straighten the arms, lift the chest. Good. So I'm opening through the chest and through the shoulders, but I'm not doing a big back bend. Beautiful. Inhale your arms up. Exhale your arms down to the inside of the left foot. Inhale your chest forward. And then exhale, shift your hips back. Flex the left foot so the toes pull back toward your nose. Please use blocks if you need them. You can even just kind of rest a hand onto your left shin if you need to. And I'm going to use my couch since it's here. Take a big breath in, lift your chest. And if you feel like it's a good idea, just start to fold forward a little bit, but go easy. There's no reason to push yourself or go too far. It does more harm than good. Good. We're gonna start to do that flow between the two lunges. So inhale, hands come down, walk your hands forward, lift your chest, feel your shoulders move back and away from your ears. And then exhale, shift your hips back, come into runner's lunge, flex the left foot. Couple more times. Resist the urge to judge your pedicure. Those toes are perfect the way that they are. The next time the front knee bends, keep it bent. Bring the hands down to the floor. Shift the foot off to the side and make your way back to hands and knees. Good. Take a second, wiggle around, cat and cow, and circle and wag your tail. Whatever you need to do, whatever feels good to you in this moment, go for it. And then, as you're ready, bring your right knee forward for pigeon pose. So the knee is going to come to the inside of the right wrist, and your right foot is going to be over to the side, probably about in line with your left hip. So set yourself up that way. Come up onto fingertips for a second, and inhale, lift your chest. With an exhale, you can start to come forward any amount. So some of you may want to stay pretty upright. Some of you may want to shift over to the left a little bit so you've got room for baby and come down to your forearms. Or you could come down to a block. You could come down to a bolster. You can come down to stacked fists. Whatever you need. Take 3 breaths. Soft through the shoulders, soft through the jaw. And then inhale, hands come under your shoulders to help you lift up. And then make your way back to side 2, so you can either come through a downward facing dog or through hands and knees, you choose. And then step your left knee forward to the inside of your left wrist. Left foot is going to come in front of the right hip a little bit, but keep your foot active. So I like the top of my foot pressing down into the floor, or you can just flex the foot. And then fingertips come to the floor. Inhale, lift your chest so your spine is as long as it can be. And then you just start to come forward and down any amount. And then wherever you are, let your head drop. Find your breath. Very good. Walk your hands back up. Shift your left hip down to the floor and swing the right leg around and come to a comfortable seated position. If that didn't quite work for you, that's cool. Just come to a comfortable seated position, however you need to get there. Once you're here, sit up big and tall. Find your breath, close your eyes. Notice how you're feeling. Thank you so much for practicing with us today. I really hope that this helps your discomfort in the low back. Know that you can come back to it again and again, and know that if you really want to notice an improvement, the more you do it and the more consistently you do it, the better your results will be. So thanks again. Until next time, namaste.